ATVs, and nearly a dozen cars. Local and state investigators, even the FBI, worked for months to track down the suspects.
This week, arrests were made in Metropolis, and more are expected. News 3's Ronnie LaForge talked with police about their efforts to take those suspects into custody. Investigators say that they believe between 10 and 12 cars were stolen. They're now working to find the owners of those stolen items. A chase in Paducah ended with a deadly crash. It happened around 1:15 this morning. Police spotted a car reported stolen near Lone Oak Road. Officers say when they tried to pull the driver over, he took off and started throwing items out of the car. That chase ended when the car went airborne after going over a railroad crossing. It ran off the road, struck a tree, then the front porch of a home. The driver, Caleb Puckett, and his two 15-year-old passengers, Andrew Morgan and Kane Clarkson, all died at the scene. Officers are still investigating.
A freight train carrying flammable liquid.
In just a bit.
All right, thanks, JC. A crop progress report by the USDA found only 8% of Illinois corn has matured. The report also rated 5% of soybeans in excellent condition compared to 10% nationally. 90% of soybeans were setting pods. Farm Week talked with farmers in Jackson and Jefferson counties who say they really need some rain to push the crops to the finish line. They said a hot summer and uneven fields from a wet spring will impact yields. Today, Senator Dick Durbin introduced a bill to increase funding for agriculture research over the next 5 years. The America Grows Act would authorize a 5% annual funding increase at the USDA. It would increase in-house research, projects at schools and colleges, funding for statistics and census collection, and economic analysis. Durbin hopes this will increase research shares as China increases investments in ag research. More people walked through the gates at the DuQuoin State Fair this year. Fair leaders say nearly 124,000 people hit the fairgrounds in 2019. That's a 23% increase from 2018 and is the highest attendance in 4 years. Last year, the fair saw just over 100,000 people come inside the gates. Officials say cutting that $2 entrance fee likely contributed to the increased attendance. Grandstand ticket sales also jumped 26% this year and generated more than $97,000 in revenue.
On the Crime Watch of trucking.
Now to Vote 2020. The third Democratic presidential debate kicks off this week, and you can catch it right here on WSIL. The one-night event will feature 10 of the leading Democratic candidates. Those candidates will take the stage on Thursday from 7 until 10. This is happening in Houston. But again, you can watch all of the debate and in-depth analysis right here on WSIL.
What's next for the city of Carbondale? Leaders plan. Coming up, raising awareness for first responders, how one community is showing its support for a fallen state trooper.
But first, an uptick in dog bites, the warning from animal control workers in Heron. That's next on News 3. Good evening. Some hot and humid weather once again in our region.
Oh yeah, that humidity really making it uncomfortable.
All right, thanks, JC. A police chase ended with 3 people, including 2 teenagers, dead. It happened just after 1 o'clock this morning in Paducah. Officers began chasing the driver of a car reported stolen. That chase ended when the car went airborne after going over a railroad crossing. It ran off the road, struck a tree, and home. The driver of the car, 20-year-old Caleb Puckett, and his 2 15-year-old passengers, Andrew Morgan and Kane Clarkson, all died at the scene. Police say they are still investigating. Transportation officials in Kentucky and Illinois are studying the eventual replacement of the Cairo Bridge over the Ohio River between Wickliffe and Cairo. Officials held their first meeting last night, and tonight they will continue discussions at Cairo High School. The meetings are in an open house format to allow the public to comment. Tonight's meeting just began and continues until 7 o'clock.
Community.
Tonight, Murfreesboro city leaders will discuss allowing recreational cannabis sales in city limits. The council has repeatedly delayed discussion on the matter at previous meetings. Tonight's meeting begins at 6 o'clock. And officials in Illinois' capital city will begin debating regulations on growing and selling recreational marijuana before it becomes legal January 1st. The Springfield Council will consider altering the zoning code to allow cultivation and sales within the city. A second proposal would add a 3% tax on cannabis sales in the city. That would be on top of the city's current 9.5% sales tax.
The DuQuoin State Fair officials claim to have had a good year. There were about 23,000 more people.
Federal health authorities say Juul has illegally pitched its electronic cigarettes as a safer alternative to smoking and ordered the company to stop making unproven claims for its products. As ABC's Maggie Rulli reports, people who have fallen ill from vaping also vape faulty THC products. New York.
Coming up, Herons Animal Control says there's an increase in dog bites. The city calls on owners to keep their pets secure.
But first, working to keep North Carolina with the GOP. President Trump's rally in the Southeast. Next. Good evening and happy first day of October, even though it really doesn't feel like it out there with some record heat out there.
That's right. Expect just a bit. Another honor flight took off this morning from Veterans Airport, and in just a few hours, 87 veterans will return to Southern Illinois after a busy day in Washington, D.C.
That's right. The 6th Veterans Honor Flight of Southern Illinois is expected to land just after 8 o'clock, but already the Veterans Airport in Marion is pretty busy right now, and that is where we find News 3's Ronnie LaForge. Ronnie, what's going on out there? All right, thanks, Ronnie. And stay with us. We will have much more on the Honor Flight's homecoming celebration in Marion tonight on News 3 at 6, 6:30, and 10. Well, the Shawneetown Fire Department is on the scene of a major accident in Gallatin County right now. The dispatch there tells News 3 the crash is on the intersection of Route 1 and Leamington Road. First responders say that accident involves several cars and at least one semi. We'll have updates on that crash as soon as they come in.
Now to a News 3.
Carbondale Elementary School teachers are meeting with school board members to continue contract negotiations. Teachers rallied in front of the middle school last night before meeting with the board and a federal mediator. If a deal is not reached, they could strike as early as Friday. Meantime, Murfreesboro teachers announced they will go on strike starting this Thursday.
Police officer who shot and killed a man in his apartment thinking it was her own has learned her fate.
ABC's Trevor Alt reports jurors deliberated for just a few hours before reaching the guilty verdict.
News, New York.
The oldest ever living president of the United States turns 95 years old today. You can wish Jimmy Carter a happy birthday through the Carter Center website. He's a recipient of 3 Grammys for the Best Spoken Word Album and earned a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his dedication to international democracy building, conflict resolution, and development programs.
Heron Hospital recognizes patients battling breast cancer on the first day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll have more on today's ceremony.
But first, the president says he wants to interview the whistleblower himself. You're watching News 3 at 5.
Oh yeah, Mark, absolutely. A very busy day. We are still continuing to collect donations. If you take a look over here at this 4-way, this is right outside of Black Diamond, as you mentioned, here in Marion. We still have Honor Guard members out there collecting donations. They've been out here, a lot of them, since 7 o'clock. They've been rotating, though. They've had shifts, taking some breaks in between. But again, we are still out here collecting those donations. What you're going to see when you drive up here, you'll see one of those Honor Guard members, and they'll have one of these blue buckets right here. Again, asking for your support for Operation Honor Guard. This is their day of giving, where they try to raise a lot of money to help those who help the people that have served and given their all for the country. It's for the funerals for those military members. So you mentioned that check that's going to be presented. Well, we're going to come right over here. We had some huge sponsors today. Thanks again to everyone who's donated so far. But we've also had First Southern Bank, of course, Black Diamond, Harley Davidson, and we also had Golden Eagle and Anderson's Furniture, Warehouse Furniture. They are here to present this check to the Honor Guard. And so I'll hand the mic over for this check presentation. I see $8,000 here.
Absolutely. I want to thank you all, and we want to present this to the Operation Honor Guard. Thank you.
So this is $2,000 from each one of our 4 main donors that we've had, our sponsors that we've had for today. And I'm joined by the Ziegler Post here. This is Joe Creelo. Tell me a little bit about what it means to have this support.
It means a very big deal. It gets us our clothing to help put people out with their shirts and their ties and the hats to look uniform, to make us more presentable for the funerals, which we try to do the best we can.
Mm-hmm. And it is on those days really for the family members to see this ceremony, to see their loved ones honored in this way.
Yes, it's not for us. We show up for them. I don't care what service they were in, what time they were in. If they were a veteran, we'll be there.
Mm-hmm. And this is a huge undertaking that the Honor Guard does, hundreds that they perform this service for.
It's all volunteers. The volunteers from every post in the area. We go miles and miles every year to go to different cemeteries. So it means quite a bit to have some clothing money, some gas money. It's just unbelievable that the people could contribute this much money to help us out to serve our veterans.
Yeah, and what we're talking about here, the outfits for them, it's about $800 for each outfit for each Honor Guard member. And there's about about 14 members for each funeral service, is that right?
That's required. We try to fill that out every time, yes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're a little short.
Yeah. So what do you want to say to those people that have already donated or thinking about coming out to donate tonight?
Well, just thank you. Everybody in our groups appreciate it. And you can't realize how much this helps the units, it helps the families. We have so many people after a funeral come up and just keep saying thank you and thank you and thank you. And we're just glad that we can be there, and this helps.
All right, thank you so much, Joe, for all that you do. Again, $8,000 just from our four big sponsors here today. Of course, Black Diamond Harley-Davidson fitted us with the location in order to collect all of these donations. I'm going to show you also what we have over here. We've been tallying up all day all of what we've had from just individual donations. You can see here on this Operation Honor Guard board, we've already tallied up that $8,000, but throughout the day, we've been adding it up hour by hour, and at the very top you can see we have $17,804.21. Thank you all so much for all those who've donated, but again, we are here until 6 o'clock tonight, so that means you have plenty of time to still come out or just go online. We've made it very easy for you to donate online as well, so just go to WSILTV.com/HonorGuard and you can donate there as well. For now, reporting live in Marion, Carolyn Serta, News 3.
For veterans, and that's where we find my co-anchor, Carolyn Serta. Carolyn, how much money was raised today?
Well, Mark, you know what? We are still actually collecting donations right now. They're supposed to be leaving here at about 6 o'clock, but as you can see behind me, we have Honor Guard members from Post 177 in Ziegler. They are still out here with their buckets collecting donations right outside Black Diamond Harley-Davidson here in Marion. Now, we did just get a few more donations that we were able to tally up, and so far we've raised more than $19,000. That is with online donations. Hey, someone's happy about that over there. But that's with online donations and, of course, the generous donations that have come out today. And, of course, you can still donate online if you weren't able to make it out today. We're going to wrap up here and, again, bring you that final tally as soon as we get it. For now, reporting live in Marion, Carolyn Serta, News 3.
Car after car, one supporter after another.
It means a very big deal.
Hundreds spared their loose change and then some to support the Honor Guard.
Gets us our clothing to help put people out with their shirts and their ties and the hats to look uniform, to make us more presentable for the funerals.
The money raised on Operation Honor Guard's Day of Giving funds the members who provide those military funerals for fallen veterans.
It's all volunteers.
We average about a funeral a week, and so somewhere around 50 a year.
It costs about $800 to completely outfit each Honor Guard member, with about a dozen members at each military funeral.
I'm actually doing this for my husband, because he died 9 years ago.
Betty Hartley knows firsthand what it means to have her loved one buried with military honors.
It meant to me a lot with my kids being there, and when they did it, it just lifted my daughter up.
In addition to the individual donations, Day of Giving sponsors donated $8,000, helping the total raised soar.
It's just unbelievable that the people could contribute this much money to help us out to serve our veterans.
Generous giving, these veterans say, goes beyond them.
It helps the families. We have so many people after a funeral come up and just keep saying thank you and thank you and thank you, and we're just glad that we can be there, and this helps.
Thank you. Have a good night.
In Marion, Carolyn Serta, News 3.
Already having great turnouts this year. How's it going tonight in Carbondale?
Well, Mark, it is literally a huge outpouring of support out here in Carbondale. I mean, we are overflowing this camper here provided by Black Diamond. Just look at this. I mean, it is all coming out of the camper. I'm going to take you up and show you a little bit of what all we've collected. You can see canned goods, mac and cheese. We also have a whole lot of spaghetti sauce here. They're also providing the spaghetti for us as well. And you can just see inside so many bags. We've kind of tried to organize it a little bit, but this thing would really be piled up had we not started to let it come out of the camper so far. And we have made it really easy for those people coming out to help donate to Good Samaritan. We're providing this list right here, and as you can see, it lists all the food that's needed and also the aisle where you can find it inside of the Kroger. So I think we've heard a little rumor that they're out of tuna because, again, we've made it super easy for people to find all of this food for the need that is here in Carbondale in Jackson County. Of course, this is going to Good Samaritan. We're going to be here until 7 o'clock tonight, so we hope that you can come out and join us and make a donation. For now, live in Carbondale, Carolyn Serta, News 3. Mark, the turnout has been incredible tonight. Just take a look at all of the food items that we've collected so far. This is about 2,000, a little more than 2,000 food items that we have packed inside of this camper by Black Diamond. And this is only some of it, actually, because they've already started to unload some of us to give us a little spot here for me to stand. Here's a look at some of the things that we've collected so far on their top 10 list of things that the food pantry needs in Carbondale. We have mac and cheese, spaghetti, rice, cereal, crackers. I was told the top thing, the number one thing that they need are meal packages like this, like a hamburger helper or even potato scallops, things of that nature. And this is all going to benefit Good Samaritan Food Pantry. That's in Carbondale. So we're going to go right over here and talk with Patty Mullen. She is the executive director over there at Good Samaritan. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. You were talking about this outpouring of support has just been incredible for you guys.
It's just been wonderful, and I can't believe, I mean, we're probably going to fill the van, and we're going to have to come back and pick up the rest because there's literally been so much food. People have shown up just to purchase food for the pantry. They weren't even shopping for themselves. They literally unloaded their entire carts and donated it to the Good Samaritan Pantry.
And this is going to an incredible cause because the need is great. You were mentioning this time of year. They serve about 12,000, more than 12,000 people last year alone. So tell us about the need this particular time of year for Carbondale.
This time of year, our cash flow is kind of slow. It's the beginning of the fiscal year, so we're waiting for grants to be signed and contracts to be finalized, so it kind of slows down the money coming in. And of course it's summertime, so people don't really often think about the homeless and the hungry during the summer. They start thinking about them when it's cold outside. So this time of year where our donations from the community slow down too. So to have an event like this that brings in a bunch of food, then we don't have to go out and spend money on food. That helps out immensely.
Mm-hmm. And again, as you've seen, the support today has been really incredible. Filling up this camper. We're still going to be out here until 7 o'clock tonight, so there is still plenty of time for you to come join us and drop off items. If you can't make it tonight, the food pantry is open on Mondays and Fridays. You can look up, we'll post exactly the times for those, and you can drop off those items that are non-perishable, but you can also bring items like milk, butter, things that are perishable that these families in need also need. So, of course, you can do that as well and drop them off tonight as well because we'll be here until 7. We hope to see you then. For now, reporting live in Carbondale, Carolyn Serta, News 3.
And breaking news just into our newsroom. Teachers in Murphy's anchor Carolyn Serta has been at Kroger all afternoon. And Carolyn, it looks like you've got quite the haul out there tonight.
Oh my gosh, Mark, we had a huge amount of support today in Carbondale. Just take a look at this camper. It's pretty deceiving right now because they've been moving, all of these volunteers have been moving this packed camper, stocking them into a van and then also into this truck over here because they're going to take it back to Good Samaritan where they're going to help lots of families in need in Jackson County. They serve about 12,000 people, more than that every year. And so all of these donations are going to go to those families in need. We collected crackers, spaghetti, cereal, soups. I mean, we had a good list for people to come out here and donate. And we're still collecting. People have still been streaming out of the store, making those donations. And we're going to be here until 7 o'clock. And so you still have time. If you're at home and you were thinking about going to the grocery store, you can still come out and make that donation to help us sack hunger. Again, this is benefiting Good Samaritan Food Pantry in Carbondale. And again, we're out here until 7 o'clock. They're starting to pack everything up, but we're hanging out here waiting for you to come and donate. For now, reporting live in Carbondale, Carolyn Serta, News 3.